Hello, this is Dr. Neil Baum from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'd like to take just 5 to 6 minutes to share with you the concept of cybersecurity and how to protect the data of your patients from being stolen and you having to pay large sums of money to buy it back. So what was the stimulus for this presentation? I received a letter from the Baylor College of Medicine where I did my training, and they informed me that their fundraising database was a victim of cybersecurity and that they had to buy the data back from people who had hacked in to the College of Medicine's fundraising database. The costs were extraordinarily expensive. They had legal fees as well as cybersecurity fees. My take-home message after reading that letter is that I found that most hospitals and practices don't have a cybersecurity plan. And if you look at smaller practices, solo practices, 2 and 3 member practices, those practices don't have a cybersecurity plan. And I point out to you, these small practices are easy targets for those who want to wreak havoc with taking your patient's data. So first rule is that you have to be cyber aware and educate your employees to recognize when there are cyber threats and encourage them to take action. If they see something that is abnormal coming across their computers, they have to say something and inform the people on the staff and also the IT people that you think there is something going awry and someone is trying to get access to your patient's data. Phishing is attempting to trick viewers to giving up personal information or their passwords. 4 out of 5 physicians are at some time victims of a cyber attack as a result of phishing. The next common examples of a cyber attack are viruses and malware. But you can protect against phishing by building a firewall. This is a technology that limits access between computer systems. So if someone is working remotely and is connected by their computer to the office, this firewall protects that connection between someone working remotely and the office's central computers. There is a possibility of inserting a spam filtering system. Well-known programs are able to do this, such as McAfee and Norton. And what you need to do is to have a meeting with your staff so they recognize phishing email. This is usually somebody trying to offer something to a viewer for free. And it also is very common for them to request an immediate response. They make it very time sensitive and they want to hear from the viewer very quickly. Anything that is suspicious should be reported to the IT department. You can be proactive against phishing by frequently changing passwords. Passwords should be at least 12 characters, and the passwords should be changed periodically for every place or where a doctor or an employee logs in. Also, you need to check your website scanners to look for suspicious activity. And if malware is detected, such as a program like ScanGuard, this protects your data on your website from people gaining access to your practice computer. Also, there are virtual private networks. Many staff and employees are working remotely, and I would like to caution them to be very careful about using public Wi-Fi, such as from a coffee shop or somewhere else that they log on to a public Wi-Fi network. Cyber criminals monitor these online activities, and they can steal the personal data, the passwords, and they can even check on websites that you have previously visited. A virtual private network establishes a secure, encrypted internet connection with layers of encryption, and it keeps protected health information safe. If you have been hacked, you have to have a response plan, and you should prepare a response plan should a breach occur. First of all, you need to be transparent with your patients and communicate that a breach has occurred. And one of the best ways to do this is to prepare in advance a public statement that you can share with your patients. Also important that you update your patients on your recovery efforts. And finally, take lessons from what you have learned and find ways to protect the data of your patients on your office computers. I'd like to end with a final story about an orthopedic clinic in Athens, Georgia, that had to come up with $1.5 million to settle a non-compliance lawsuit regarding HIPAA violation rules. The database of over 200,000 patients was posted online and it was put up for sale. The protected health information, including the names of patients, their date of birth, social security number, their test results, their diagnoses, their health information was made available. And the hacker demanded money for those stolen pieces of information. And the hacker also had access to the practice's electronic medical record. At issue, or what the problem was, they failed to have a business associate agreement with their vendors, and consequently, they had to settle with a $1.5 million fine. So the bottom line is that small urology practices are easy targets for cyber criminals. And I hope after watching this video, you take the time and effort to create a cybersecurity plan. If you have any comments or suggestions regarding cybersecurity, or if you've had any incidences of cyber attack, please let me hear from you so we might share that with our colleagues. I can be reached on the email address on the last slide. Thank you.